What is the relation between cancer and infection? What percentage of cancers are due to infection or related to infection? So at least 12 to 15% cancers are due to some infection. 12 to 15% of oncogenesis means some infection can lead to malignancy or transformation of the cells for malignant potential. So according in 2020, it was estimated to be 12%, now gradually increasing. So 12 to 15% of all malignancies may be related to some infection. And most common about that is virus. Bacteria, so virus is the most common type of infective agent that can transform the cell into a malignant cell or dysregulated growth. Can you tell any bacteria which is related to the cancer in last few years? Any bacteria? H. pylori, Helicobacter pylori, also for antral gastritis and gastric CA. So let's start with the viral part first. So organism with oncogenic potential, viruses account for the majority. Bacteria, parasite, fungi contribute minor proportion. 15% of the all human malignancy may be due to viral infection, prior viral infection. Two major vaccine preventable malignancies. Can we prevent those? The prevention, two most common like cervical carcinoma due to human papilloma virus and hepatic carcinoma due to hepatitis B virus that can be prevented if you take vaccine. So those are two vaccine preventable malignancy. Francis Piton Rouse was the first person, little bit about history, who has proved the viral origin for malignancy. What he has done? He has done his experiment in 1911. RSV. Can you, what is the name RSV? It is not the respiratory syncytial virus, but it is Rouse sarcoma virus. So he made the experiment in 1911. What he has done? He has one chicken with a sarcoma. He took the sarcoma infiltrate and injected in another chicken that developed the sarcoma again. But he was lucky that Rouse sarcoma, that virus was not defective. Otherwise, his experiment would have failed. But see the timing. The experiment was done between 1909 to 1911, but it was not recognized worldwide till 1966. He received after 50 years, more than 50 years, his work was recognized and he received the Nobel Prize. John Trentin in 1963 demonstrated the adenovirus can cause sarcoma in hamster. Anthony Epstein, you know Epstein-Barr virus. Epstein-Barr virus causes which type of malignancy? I will come individually to Epstein-Barr virus. It was initially implicated for Burkitt's lymphoma, and that too in the African region. Burkitt's lymphoma, also nasopharyngeal carcinoma, Hodgkin's and non-Hodgkin's lymphoma can be caused by Epstein-Barr virus. Peter Duesberg in 1970 discovered SRC gene. That SRC gene, that Rouse sarcoma virus which Dr. Peyton Rouse discovered, This is the SRC is the viral oncogene. SRC gene is viral oncogene. Head and Jude Hossain suggested HPV may cause cervical cancer. So classification of oncogenic virus can be done under two headings. Either it may be RNA virus or it may be DNA virus. These are tables, these are the common virus that can cause malignancy. Remember the names, because sometimes names are asked. So human papilloma virus 16, 18, 31 and 45. That is the main for cervical carcinoma in female. What type of vaccine, can you tell what type of papilloma HPV vaccine is there? Either it is a bivalent that containing 16, 18 or it may be quadrivalent. Quadrivalent vaccine, so available for human papilloma virus. Polyoma virus, sometimes called human tumors like brain tumor, Merkel cell polyoma virus, Merkel cell carcinoma. Then herpes virus group, Epstein-Barr virus. The nasopharyngeal carcinoma, Burkitt's lymphoma, Hodgkin's and non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Then human herpes virus 8 causing Kaposi's sarcoma. Cytomegalovirus can also cause cervical neoplasia and hepatitis B can cause hepatocellular carcinoma. Molluscum contagiosum though included, but molluscum contagiosum is not a malignancy. Adenovirus 2, 5 and 12 can cause sarcoma, hepatitis C, another cause of hepatocellular carcinoma, and retroviridity. Retroviridity, what is the special in retroviridity? That can acutely transform the cell into malignant cell. Otherwise, some depending factors are there for transformation, but these retrovirus can directly convert a cell into malignant cell. So they are directly acting. And no retroviral yet discovered to cause malignancy in human. All retrovirus malignancy are in animal: avian leukosis, mouse mammary, mammalian leukemia, adult T-cell leukemia and B-cell lymphoma, Kaposi's sarcoma. These are part along with HIV. So it is a complex and multi-step process requiring prolonged time and multiple oncogenic events requires. Not a single, only the viral infection is not the only part for development of malignancy. There is multiple steps are required. Remember these genes, short note may come from these genes. V-onc, C-onc, proto-oncogene, these are the main genes. So V-onc means those genes that are present in the virus directly. Viral oncogene present in the viral genome are essential for the replication of virus. This directly acting V-onc is only present in some retroviruses. The genes in the viral genome that change the host cell proliferation and lead to synthesis of new protein. That is V-onc. One example of V-onc, just I have told SRC gene. SRC gene in sarcoma virus, that was aroused sarcoma virus, that is one example of viral oncogene or V-onc. C-onc is cellular oncogene, that is the cellular counterpart of viral oncogenes. What is proto-oncogene? Proto-oncogenes means these genes are present in normal cell, but they are transformed by virus to do some work which provides a base for malignancy. So these are changing some growth factor, some growth factor receptor, some transcription factor, and finally the tumor suppressor gene. What are the example of tumor suppressor gene? Most common tumor suppressor gene is P53. Yes, P53 is the most common. Then RB is retinoblastoma gene. These are example of tumor suppressor gene. So proto-oncogenes they promote the host cell growth that are essential for life. But overactivation of proto-oncogene can lead to malignancy or dysregulated growth. Anti-oncogene means they suppress the tumor suppressor gene. They work as anti-tumor suppressor gene. They continuously block either p53 or retinoblastoma gene. Apoptosis. What is apoptosis? Yes, programmed cell death. Apoptosis is programmed cell death. They control the programmed cell death by upregulating or downregulating apoptosis. But mutation, this apoptosis regulatory gene, if apoptosis regulatory gene are monitored, there will be no cell death and there will be unlimited growth potential for those cells. DNA repair genes or DNA proofreading. You have seen before publishing a book, the publishers or the who have given for print, they give you a proof for whether everything is correct. In our body, the same work is done by DNA repair genes. They proofread and repair any problem. So, oncogenes are activated in three mechanisms. One is mutation, one is gene amplification or chromosomal rearrangement. Proto-oncogene. Normally, when it is in proto-oncogene, they require for normal growth, signaling system, but transcription factor, producing proteins, cell nucleus, cell proliferation occurring. But how the proto-oncogene can become abnormal? Either it can be abnormal by translocation or transposition, a new promoter is added in the gene. So normal growth stimulating protein in excess. Sometimes gene amplification, normal growth stimulating protein in excess, or due to point mutation, an oncogene has been added to a proto-oncogene and transformed that proto-oncogene. Tumor suppressor gene, it was working normally, suppressing tumor. This is the normal cell division under control, but there is a mutation in the tumor suppressor gene. When a mutation occurs, the tumor suppressor gene will not function properly. Two examples. This is the normal tumor suppressor gene is like the brake of a car. Tumor suppressor gene like brake of the car, but when active oncogene has made some problem in first mutation in susceptible carrier, second mutation loss, that lead to no brakes in the car. So the tumor suppressor gene was acting as a brake in the car, but it is been converted by some mutation by other oncogene so that it further cannot suppress the tumor growth. Apoptosis gene, BCL2, BCLX, and these are anti-apoptotic genes and they are activated by these. So P53 been stopped by BCL2, BCLX and MCL1. These are anti-apoptotic genes, they prevent the apoptosis. Now this is the cell cycle, you all know how the cell cycle works, but where the stop and checkpoints are where? The G1, synthesis phase, G2 and mitosis. So first checkpoint is G1, what it checks? The cell size, nutrients, growth factor and DNA damage. If there is any damage, it goes back to resting phase. S, DNA synthesis, and another checkpoint is G2, where it should check the cell size and DNA replication. So cell damage either may be inherited from the germline or may be due to physical, chemical or biological, that is virus. Proto-oncogene. So these are the three activation of proto-oncogene. This is the summary. What are the three main of indirectly acting oncogene? Activation of proto-oncogene, inactivation of tumor suppressor gene, alteration of apoptosis gene. So pathogenesis of the total viral oncogenesis for retrovirus or some RNA virus, they will directly active V-on or viral oncogene is present. and in other DNA or some RNA virus, they act by these three mechanisms. Either they activate proto-oncogene, or they can suppress the tumor suppressor gene, or they may alter the apoptosis gene. So again, persistent infection, another point. It cannot occur except the few retrovirus where acute transforming cell is otherwise persistent long infection is required for tumor genesis. Persistent infection is one important part. Long latent periods, direct or indirectly acting carcinogen, moderate growth control, animal model may reveal the mechanism, viral marker. One virus may be associated with more than one type of cancer. Not all virus causes tumor. Why? Few viruses are causing cancer, few are not. Because host factors play an important role. As you have already know, the HIV, it only attacks either CD4 cells or dendritic cells. So CD4 cell receptor is essential for infection of HIV. Other animals or other insects which do not have CD4 cell won't have HIV infection. The same is for viral oncogenesis. Typical receptor is required. So genetic susceptibility and host immune response. Now, how the host immune response can be evaded? Evasion of host immune response. Other two infections where host immune infection evasion is essential. In malaria also, in Kala-Jar, and in case of HIV, you should know how the virus is evading the host immune response to establish a infection. Here also same, how the infection, how they are evading the immune system. Epstein-Barr virus. Epstein-Barr virus in B cells, but they are restricted expression. They are not expressing the antigen outside. Inhibition of antigen processing, again Epstein-Barr virus. Infection site is inaccessible, like HPV, only in epidermis. Mutation of viral antigen that escape from antibody and T cell regulation, that is HIV. And infection and suppression of immune cells. So these are the few methods of immune evasion. What is immune evasion? That means this is the viral antigen is not expressed. So our immune system cannot recognize the latent infection of hepatitis Epstein-Barr virus. Second is antigen processing is also inhibited by Epstein-Barr virus. Sometimes it is in the inaccessible site. Immune suppression of the host allows cancer cells to proliferate. Most common example of these, HIV infection, and along with the organ transplant patients who are having immune suppressive drugs. They have a more chance of developing malignancy. So immune suppression is another factor for development of malignancy. Why virus cause a particular type of tumor? Tissue specificity. Specific cell surface receptor, intracellular factor specific for viral gene, ability of virus to cause disseminated versus local infection. They are limited to a particular cell, not producing disseminated infection, and does not doing and lyting. If the cell virus proliferation is completed, there will be lysis of the cell and cell death. It will not develop cancer. So, in which cells the development of cancer will occur? Where these say there is latent infection and persistent infection. Again, virus, 15 to 20% of all tumor worldwide is due to viral cause. The definition is virus that produces tumor in natural host or in experimental animal or malignant transformation in cell culture. This is the normal procedure of viral attachment and penetration and portion containing genome inside the cell cytoplasm. There are two types of cell. One is permissive cell and another is non-permissive cell. Permissive cells they allow viral growth, lead to lysis of host cell, lethal damage, if arrested, latent infection. So this is persistent infection. Non-permissive cells do not allow production of viral progeny. Latent viral infection, persistent or chronic infection if virus evades the host immune response. And normal host immune response try to eliminate the rarely transformed cells. So permissive cell leading to persistent infection that lead to oncogenesis. So retrovirals directly act oncogene or proto-oncogene can modify. This is the same table. Some are directly acting. Already I have mentioned viral oncogenes like Rous sarcoma virus, that is called acute transforming viruses. The V-onc replaces the essential genetic material in the virus. They cannot replicate themselves unless host is infected by another virus. Retrovirus already I have covered. Now HTLV1 or HTLV human T lymphotropic virus that can cause an indirect oncogenesis. Individual which virus you should know for individual oncogenesis: Epstein-Barr virus, hepatitis B virus, hepatitis C virus, Kaposi sarcoma herpes virus and HTLV. These are the common viruses, oncogenic viruses. How the HTLV is transmitted? HTLV, like HIV, also infects CD4 cell. The mode of transmission, either mother to child via breast milk or sexual transmission or infected blood. What is the particular receptor? That is glucose transporter protein 1 is the particular receptor for HTLV. In whole this picture, you remember this TAX gene. TAX gene is the main part of oncogenesis. Main pathogenesis is due to TAX gene. It modulates other genes and it activates CFOS and GM-CSF, that is equal to, what is the main action of TAX gene? It forms a complex between CDK4 and P16. CDK4, P16s are what? They are growth regulating receptors. So they are inactivate the cell cycle inhibitor like P16. So TAX gene is the important oncogene. In case of HTLV, what it inhibits? It inhibits the P16 or INK4A. HIV, though not directly involved in oncogenesis, but in presence of immune suppression, many disease occurs. What is the most common malignancies in HIV? Most common malignancies in HIV. Virus acts as a cofactor. Non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, Hodgkin, Kaposi sarcoma. Kaposi sarcoma is the AIDS-relating symptom. So Kaposi sarcoma virus is the common in HIV. Other malignancy can occur like non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, Hodgkin's lymphoma, cervical carcinoma, anogenital carcinoma and Burkitt's lymphoma. Hepatitis B causing hepatocellular carcinoma. What is the mechanism? If anti-HBs is formed, it eliminates the hepatitis B surface antigen and there is recovery from hepatitis B. If recovery in chronic active hepatitis, when it turns into chronic active hepatitis, then there is a chance of malignancy. Fails, so cannot eliminate. There is persistent infection leading to chronic liver injury, necrosis and inflammation and again regeneration. Increased mitotic activity and regulatory transactivator protein. What we were talking in HTLV, that was TAX protein. Here it is X protein. Of X protein, either it binds to P53, that is tumor suppressor gene, or it activates interleukin growth factor 2 or interleukin growth factor 1 receptors. So, chronic persistent infection leading to activation of the X protein, and that binds to P53, that is and tumor suppressor gene. And in HCV the mechanism is same, chronic liver injury and following this. Another, this is aflatoxin. Aflatoxin is usually due to fungus origin. Hepatitis C virus. A positive sense RNA virus, flavividity, transfusion, contact, blood products, sexual, less important, and perinatal. So, hepatitis C virus exists as an episomal copy in hepatocytes and acts indirectly by causing chronic liver cell injury. Now, coming to few DNA virus. RNA viruses are usually can be directly acting or activating, but DNA viruses usually invade the host cell. Viral DNA is incorporated in the host cell nucleus. Either there will be cell lysis, that is cell death, there is no chance of malignancy, or there may be transformed cell or persistent infection. Epstein-Barr virus. Epstein-Barr virus you have seen in MCQ. What is the translocation that occurs in Burkitt's lymphoma? Translocation in which region? Translocation in which region? Burkitt's lymphoma. Previously many MCQ used to come on this. Translocation 8 to 14. Translocation 8 to 14. So it is tumors of the jaw seen in children in African region. And in 90% case of Burkitt's lymphoma is in African region and 20% in non-African case. Most of the cases have pre-existing translocation 8 to 14. Falciparum malaria may be an inciting factor for tumor genesis because falciparum malaria decreases the cell-mediated immunity. It impairs the host cell-mediated immunity, and that may be a factor for development of Burkitt lymphoma. Nasopharyngeal carcinoma. It is seen among Chinese people. Another, nitrosamine, intake of salted fish. Nasopharyngeal carcinoma usually কিভাবে present করে? Can anybody any idea about nasopharyngeal carcinoma, how it usually presents? It may not have any symptom because nasopharyngeal you cannot see directly. The patient may come with cervical lymph node only. Cervical lymphadenopathy you should suspect in a children having other symptoms to exclude nasopharyngeal carcinoma. So nitrosamine, salted fish and herbal shrub may be an inciting factor. Epstein-Barr virus can also cause Hodgkin's lymphoma and non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and on CNS, NHL and 50% of non-NHL are EBV DNA. So what it means? That CNS non-Hodgkin's lymphoma or other non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, you do a PCR, you can get Epstein-Barr virus DNA in those cases. Epstein-Barr virus, how many? What are the antigens that is required for oncogenesis? One is EBNA 1 and 2, LMP 1 and 2 are the oncogene. EBNA 1 is invariably expressed, they maintain the viral DNA, and LMP1 mimics an activated growth factor. So what are the early antigen in Epstein-Barr virus? Early antigens, and most two important for oncogenesis. Early antigens are E1 to E7 that develops non-structural protein. So early antigens usually develop the non-structural protein. highly species specific for humans. Transmission can be through infected saliva also. They have tropism for epithelial cell and B lymphocytes. They attach to CD21 receptor, CD21 receptor, glycoprotein GP350. So glycoprotein GP350 is present in Epstein-Barr virus and that attaches with CD21 receptor. EBNA usually expressed acute infection. BAR1 protein serves as a soluble colony stimulating factor. So EBN1 helps in immune evasion. Then after EBN1 has evade the immune response, EBNA2 and LMP1 express. So LMP1 is oncogene. So what is the oncogene Epstein-Barr virus? That is LMP1. They activate growth signaling pathway through CD40 glycoprotein. What other LMP1 does? It activates the NF-kB and JAK-STAT signaling. It prevents the apoptosis by activating anti-apoptotic BCL2 and it also expresses the pro-angiotic factor for development of VEGF. VEGF means vascular endothelial growth factor. The same in a table. This is Epstein-Barr virus infection, either infects B lymphocytes or epithelial cells in the pharynx or salivary gland. If clearance occurs, there is no chance of oncogenesis. Some infection remain. The B cell become persistent infection. EBN1 antigen. What is the role of EBN1 antigen? It helps in immune evasion. And after that, LMP1 and LMP1 antigen is the oncogene. You can diagnose Epstein-Barr virus. You can diagnose by specimen, saliva, blood or lymphoid tissue. Isolation of virus is very difficult. What we do is, by PCR, we detect Epstein-Barr virus DNA. Epstein-Barr virus antigen can be detected by immunofluorescence assay. So this is the diagnosis. Most of the viral diagnosis is same. You detect the antigen by PCR or by immunofluorescence assay, or you detect the antibody by serological test. Acyclovir can decrease the viral shedding, but no effect on lymphoma. Kaposi sarcoma herpes virus. A soft tissue sarcoma of vascular origin. Human herpes virus 8 is endemic in Africa, where it is transmitted by oral secretion. Red to purple color growth, where it occurs under the skin. Under the skin, mouth or oral mucosa. Same, the viral DNA by PCR. Treatment, foscarnet, cidofovir and gemcitabine. This is the oncogenesis. What is the protein or what is oncogenetic protein? This oncogenetic protein in Kaposi sarcoma is flies. Flies either activate kappa B or it inhibit apoptosis by activating the BCL2. The mechanism of DNA virus is almost same. They either first do immune evasion, remain persistent in the cell. After being persistent, they produce some protein or some gene which either activate some proto-oncogene or activate the anti-apoptotic gene, so that lead to dysregulated cell growth. Human papilloma virus. Another vaccine preventable viral oncogenesis. What's caused by human papilloma virus? 16 genera. There are 16 genera in papilloma, only 5 or 4 can cause malignancy. And most important is 16 and 18. Transmission either by sexual transmission or mother to child during vaginal delivery. Type 1, only plantar warts, skin warts. Remember this part, 16, 18, 30, 31. These are the 4 genera which can cause cervical neoplasm in female, and this is most important. HPV 16 is more than HPV 18. For association with cervical, anal or oropharyngeal carcinoma, HPV 6 and 11 are with wart and laryngeal papilloma. They consist of early region and late region. Early region consists of 7 genes, E1 to E7, and E6 and E7 have oncogenic potential. So they have E1 to E7, these are 7 genes. E6 enhances the P53 degradation, thus inhibiting the activation of apoptosis. E7 also inhibits the tumor suppressor gene, that is retinoblastoma gene. So E6 inhibits what? E6 enhances P53 degradation, so P53 will be decreased, and E7 inhibits the retinoblastoma gene. So either by P53 or P21 or directly inhibiting retinoblastoma gene. But HPV alone will not do the cancer. CFOS DNA is required. How you can diagnose HPV infection? Acetic acid test, pap test, and DNA test. So vaccine, I already mentioned, there are 2 types of HPV vaccine. One is bivalent with 16 and 18, and another is quadrivalent with 16, 18, 6, 11, 16 and 18. Vaccine কখন দেওয়া হবে? Where you should give the vaccine? When? To the young female, what is the age? Age of giving HPV vaccine. In the younger female, not recommended for pregnant female. Specifically should have been given between 12 to 16. In the adolescent female, HPV vaccine should be given. Same, we can detect HPV DNA by PCR. So what is the oncogenesis? Mutation in the host genome. It inhibits P53 and retinoblastoma genes. Tries to DNA repair is being hampered. Synthesis of early protein E6 and E7. E6 causes proteolysis of P53 and E7 inactivates retinoblastoma gene. So these are oncogenetic part. Hepatitis B already I have covered. Bacterial malignancy. What are the bacteria causing malignancy? That is Helicobacter pylori, marginal B-cell lymphoma of the stomach, and Bacteroides vaginis can cause colon cancer. So 2 bacteria, one is Helicobacter pylori and Bacteroides vaginis. How you can detect Helicobacter pylori during endoscopy? What is the method of diagnosing of Helicobacter pylori? Rapid test. What rapid test is being done during upper GI endoscopy to detect Helicobacter pylori? Helicobacter pylori, how will you diagnose? H. pylori diagnosis. Have you seen any endoscopy report of your friends or family? Upper GI endoscopy report, there is a test called rapid urease test. rapid urease test is done, RUT 2. That is not a conclusive proof. Culture may be done for Helicobacter pylori, but this is a rapid test to diagnose presence of H. pylori infection due to rapid urease test. This question can come as rapid urease test. Now, what are the parasites that cause malignancy? Schistosoma hematobium. Schistosoma hematobium kotao malignancy of which region? They cause bladder tumor. Schistosoma japonicum can cause colorectal cancer and carcinoma of the liver. Clonorchis sinensis can cause carcinoma of the bile duct. Opisthonis viverni and cholangiocarcinoma, carcinoma of the liver. So, schistosoma hematobium causes bladder cancer. Any dye that can cause bladder cancer other than schistosoma hematobium? Any chemical carcinogen? Do you know about bladder cancer? Some aniline dye can, people working in an aniline dye industry may suffer from bladder cancer. That is another chemical carcinogen. So these are schistosoma hematobium. Fungi causing cancer. Aspergillus flavus producing aflatoxin that can lead to carcinoma of liver. So, any question from your side? If we summarize in one or two sentences, cancer may be due to infective origin. 15 to 20% cancers are due to infection. And which infection? Mostly due to virus. So 12% to 15% of onco, that is tumor, are due to virus, and some virus and some bacteria, some parasites or some fungi can also be implicated. And what is the main mechanism? Either it may be directly transform one cell by viral oncogene, like in retrovirus, but other RNA virus and DNA virus usually indirectly acting oncogenes. Say directly do not transform the cell. What they do, they usually either activate the proto-oncogene to form as a viral oncogene in the cell, or they inhibit some tumor suppressor gene like P53 retinoblastoma gene, or they may anti-apoptotic gene. They inhibit the apoptosis by activating the anti-apoptotic gene. Example is BCL2 or BAX. These are anti-apoptotic gene. They are activating. So at least you remember this part. They 12 to 15% of all cancers may be due to infections. Second is this directly acting or indirectly acting. In human, mostly directly acting, there is no oncogenic virus that directly cause cancer or acute transforming cell, but they usually change the gene to form the cancer, and a latent and persistent infection is required for oncogenesis. And among bacteria, you must remember Helicobacter pylori. Helicobacter pylori, you can culture it also. That requires microaerophilic environment for culture of Helicobacter pylori. And how will you diagnose rapidly during endoscopy? By rapid urease test or RUT.